Finally, the time has come. All those hours of practice, all those years of lessons, all the dreams and the work have brought you to this night. You've worked long and hard to be the singer, the pianist, or whatever you're showcasing this evening. You're ready, and tonight you're going to be a star. But wait, before you accept the accolades of the masses, come back to reality for a moment and realize you just don't step out onto the stage and start singing or playing your instrument. There are some things you need to consider for a successful engagement. There are three categories of things to be attended to so everything will be ready when you go on stage. Nothing should be left to chance. This list will help you get started. Category 1, pre-gig. Questions to consider before accepting a gig. Category 2, the gig. Questions to ask and things to consider the day of the gig. Category 3, post-gig. The things to do after the gig. First in the pre-gig category list is contracts and agreements, agents, or self-booking. Is this a booking agent gig, or did you book it yourself? Before you sign a contract for a gig with an agent or venue, there are things you must know, and those details should be in the contract. Things like how much are you getting paid? What are the hours of the gig? What happens if the gig gets canceled or you get sick? Do a little research, ask an agent or another musician who's had the experience about the many things you should consider before signing a contract. Next on the list is travel and accommodations. Who pays for getting you and the equipment to the gig and for accommodations while you're fulfilling your agreement? Know the details. If you have to take care of it yourself, you must make arrangements in advance and know how much it's going to cost. You may have to cover travel expenses. Another thing that's very important you need to consider is, what is the venue? Is it a club, a concert, a private party? Is it going to be inside or outside? Will the gig be during the day or night? What time do you start playing? What time do you stop? How many sets do you play, and how long are the breaks? Much depends on who your audience is. What kind of show do they expect? Will there be dancing or just listening? Is it for a special occasion or celebration like a birthday, wedding party, New Year's Eve, a Christmas party? Really important are the questions about the stage. How big is it? Is it large enough for you, your musicians, and all the equipment? Is there a drum riser? If it's outside, is it covered? Is there a house PA, monitors and lights, or are you responsible for bringing them? Is there a house sound man, or should you bring a sound tech to mix the sound? If it's a small club or gig, party, chances are you'll have to bring your own PA, monitor, lights, and technicians to operate them, or plan on mixing it yourself from the stage. The second category is the gig. Things to consider the day of the gig. First in this category is the set list. For concerts, deciding the songs to play in their order is crucial for a great show. Some artists like to start with a huge bang and get the audience excited and pumped up. Others like to start easy so they can get accustomed to the sound and crescendo to an explosion. Make sure all the musicians and techs have a set list so they can prepare for the next song. In smaller clubs, you have the luxury of reading the crowd and choosing which song to play next. One of the most important things for a successful gig is the sound check before the actual gig begins. That means all musicians and sound techs are there to run over a song or two so you can check the monitor mix, stage sound, and if the equipment is working properly. This is when the sound man will get a tentative mix and make sure the PA and monitors and lights are working as they should. Next in this category is the sound and lighting techs. Is your show coordinated with the sound and light techs? They should know your music, where to add the sound effects, and when the stage lights come up and down, and any special lighting effects that are part of the show. How well they do their job will determine if you have a successful show. And don't forget to keep an eye on the time. Club venue managers are usually sticklers about what time you start playing and take breaks. Be prompt if you want to return to this venue. The last category is post-gig, the things that happen when the gig is over. And most important is getting paid. Arrangements are usually specified in the contract, either by your agent or yourself, to get paid the agreed amount of money. Most of the time, a deposit has been made for you to show up and play the gig, with the remainder being paid after the gig. Most non-famous artists get cash or certified check before leaving the premises. After the gig is over and you've been paid, you must remove all the equipment for the gig and take it home or store it for the next gig. In most club situations, each musician takes care of their individual equipment and everyone helps to wrap up the PA and light cords and helps load up the equipment. To avoid problems, never pay the musicians and techs before everything is loaded and you're ready to leave. After tearing down and loading up, it's time to say goodnight. Leave the venue and go home to the hotel or after gig party to celebrate a successful night. After a long day working to create a successful show, you drop into your bed with your ears still ringing from the excitement of your first gig. Then you wake up in the morning and you start planning the next gig all over again. Just remember, this is what you wanted, so enjoy it. Happy gigging.